So here's a fascinating tshuva from the Ykara. The Ykara was Binyamin Aryeh Weiss, and he was a chief rabbi of Czernovitz, which is a city or town in Ukraine. He became the chief rabbi, or the Av based in, at the age of 29. And in this tshuva, in Or Chaim, Siman Tesvav, the Ykara describes how when he came to Czernovitz to take on the kosher Albanis, the chair of the rabbinic leadership. And when he came to the town of Czernovitz, the Jewish population grew exponentially, and there was no Eruv. He said it was open. There was no Eruv around the city of Czernovitz. Besides a very small portion where from previous generations when there was a very small Jewish community, so a very small Eruv in a very small segment. However, it bothered him very much that since there were so many Jews, so many Yidden that lived in Czernovitz, and there was no Eruv there, and he said he worked very hard, tirelessly, and worked with the Balabatim, with the community members, to figure out a method, how could they accomplish this very important part, to keep Shabbos properly, that people shouldn't carry on Shabbos, people should have Einik Shabbos. Visitors came from other cities to do business, and they didn't know that there was no Eruv there, and they may have transgressed by carrying on Shabbos without an Eruv. And he said he put a very big effort to try to get permission from the government, figure out routes, collect money, but kept on hitting stumbling blocks. They couldn't figure it out. And over many years, and ended up being close to 16 years, till they finally had a time where they finally established an Eruv after so much effort. And he says this was in the year 1888, late 1800s, Erev Yom Kippur, and the town was so happy. Everybody was so excited that they finally had an Eruv. Now he describes what was this major breakthrough that they accomplished to finish the Eruv in the whole town of Czernovitz, even including the outskirts of town. How did they build it? And the Ykara describes, you see what happened. The telephone companies, they finally came to Ukraine. First it was established in the U.S. when the telephone systems were invented. And the Ykara goes on to explain this tshuva, what is a telephone, because people did not understand what does it mean, a telephone. So he explained you have a device sitting in your house, and then you have a central station, and then you have poles around the whole city, and you have the wire and string that run on top of it. And when one person picks up the device, which is like a round wheel, the way he describes, on your, like the old phones, and you pick it up and you lift the receiver and you call the central station, and that's how you place a call. And then your friend on the other side of town could pick up the phone and it's as if you're face to face and you have a conversation. And he said, you see, when you have these poles around the city and a string running top, that is a source of Pesach. That's a dorm frame which makes up an Eruv and surrounds it and makes like a mechitza, a boundary for the whole city. And that's how the Eruv was established in Czernovitz. And the Ykara describes, and look at this, when I needed to check the Eruv Shabbos, I pick up the phone, I call my friend on the other side of town, and if I hear a dial tone, if I hear him answer, I know that the Eruv is up, that everything's intact, because if anything was ripped, if there's one string down, the phone I would not be able to place the call, he would not hear me. So I knew for sure, without a doubt, that if he answered the phone, that the Eruv was intact, since they had to go all around the whole entire city to be able to, through the wire, because he's lived on the other side, to be able to receive my call. So that was, and the Ykara says this was the first Eruv established with the phone system, and then other cities heard about it, like Lviv and other places, and they followed suit, and they made an Eruv. Which is just fascinating how the phone system, the phone technology, how it was first used in the late 1800s, and now you see throughout the United States or other places how the electrical poles and the phone wires are used throughout to make Eruv in our cities today.